lovelies. Welcome to the Creatives Tarot, the YouTube channel that helps you supercharge your creativity and pursue your passion. My name is Melissa, and I am very, very happy and excited and grateful that you are here joining me today. We're going to be doing a month-long July forecast for creative play, which you already know because you selected this video. But we're talking about creative play and why? Because July is the heart of summer, right? And it is the one month where nobody's doing anything related to work or school, where we could just unplug, go on vacation, make family memories, and really have a blast, recharge, binge those TV shows, go to the amusement parks and the state fairs and the festivals, really just get lost in, and the work hard, play hard. Like sometimes we just need to play hard. So I'm encouraging to do that, and we're going to figure out what it's going to take for us to break free and have a lot of playtime this month. I can't wait to get into it. These readings are long, thick, lots of messages came through. So I'm actually dividing this into 4 separate videos, and they will be focused around your elemental signs. So earth, air, fire, and water. So that is your sun sign. But I also tell people, if you want a more comprehensive reading, listen to the messages for your rising sign and your moon sign as well. So earth, air, or not earth, air, but sun, moon, rising. That's what I meant to say. Sun, moon, and rising is going to give you the most comprehensive. And if you're like me or a lot of people, you probably have some sun and moon that's in the same family. So like I am a earth. I have Virgo and Taurus, so I have a double shot of earth in me. So that's only 2. So don't get so caught up on like, oh God, that's 3 hours of videos. It's not. Okay, it's not. Let's relax. Let's lighten up and focus on the play here. As always, don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss out on future messages, including some big announcements that I have dropping in July about the channel and some special projects that I've been working up. I don't want you to miss out. So like, share, subscribe, tell other people so that the channel can continue to grow and thrive. I can continue to make movies and videos like this. And let's get started. Let's get started with our first elemental sign. Okay, water signs, last but not least, this is your reading. Water signs, that is our Pisces, our Cancer, our Scorpio. We are in water sign season right now with Cancer. And so, yeah, really excited to dig in. Here is your spread. Now, every single spread is unique and different to each elemental group. So these are the cards that came up specifically for your signs for the month of July to help you channel your creative spirit and your creative play. So let's walk through them, and then I'll show you where all the cards landed. Hello, water signs. Here's your creative play reading for the month of July 2021. I'm really excited to dig into this. I know we've seen the spread and now we have the cards here flipped over already because these readings are running long. I'm trying to save time. But okay, so we had Conquer and Purge. And so one of the things that I had flagged here is like they do seem similar, but they're not. They're not entirely similar. And with Conquer, I want to think about like, what do you have to defeat? What do you have to overcome? What do you have to battle? And you have the 2 of Wands here, which 2 of Wands speaks to reclaiming your personal power and stepping out into the world, engaging into the world. So for some of you, particularly of those of you who are introverts, I want to encourage you, and I want to encourage you to re-engage. I want to encourage you to step out of your home, right? You could take precautions, that's fine, but step out of your home, have lunch with a friend, do something in a park, slowly start to re-enter society in a way that isn't about just doing essential activities or items, and conquer that like fear of the unknown, the fear of like, oh, but what if, just like allow yourself to be and start to reclaim some of that normalcy. I also think, we're talking about creative play, and I do want to say that like for some reason, this word conquer made me think about game night. It just made me think about game night. Maybe I'm super competitive. I was just playing D&D the other day, so maybe that's on my mind. But Conquer is making me think about game night. So like that might be a safe way for you to engage with some friends and have some social activities and get out of the house and do something really fun and play. So I'm thinking about game night for you is like a theme around play. Let's keep going. Let's see if that rings true with some of these other cards. We have Purge. What do you need to purge and let go of? And you have the Death card. So one, I think this feels heavy, but like, I think there's this fear of death, especially with the pandemic, like of being afraid of this and of feeling like, you know, it's absolutely the most devastating thing possible. And it's really hard when you're in the moment, when you're going through grief, to accept or acknowledge that it is part of a bigger thing and that it is natural. But you know, with this Death card here, I want to I want to say that the death is also about rebirth, right? This card is a much more traditional sense. But I mean, I think you think about life and death, and you think about the flower here, right? You know, the Black Death figure on the white horse, right? They're working together. It's not just darkness. It's not just evil. That it comes at all ages, right? And that there's some sort of beauty there or purpose. You see the setting sun. Like, I just want you to think about, like, what do you need to purge? There feels like here, there's this fear of death, this fear of, and I'm not telling you to be reckless, but I think there's a part that needs to reposition death and renew it, to cleanse how you're thinking about death and to think about it as a phoenix, right? There may be something that's coming to an end, and I don't want to, like, yes, this could be like the loss of a loved one. Of course it could be. But this also could be just the end of a job, right? It could be the end of a marriage or a relationship. It could be the end of a creative project that you're working on, like finishing a book or winding down a series. It could be a cancellation of the show that you're working on, right? There's all different ways in which endings can happen. And all of those things can be traumatic, especially if they're not expected. They can cause grief. They can cause loss. We often think that we only grieve during death, when people die, but we grieve all the time. We grieve for transitions. You know, you graduate from high school and you grieve. And I think a lot of freshmen don't understand that when they get to college, and they can't understand why they can't adjust. And it's because part of you is grieving leaving high school and your home and your friends and your family and being in this new world. And as much as you're excited about being in that new world, there's always going to be that piece of grief after you graduate from somewhere, after you change new jobs, even if it's the right decision for you, even if your other job was toxic and horrible, there's still a little bit of grief that comes with that, because that change is hard. And so I just get this sense of endings and beginnings, this cycle, and that there's a message here for you to destroy the way in which you think about death, to cleanse the way in which you think about death, to readjust that in your mind. And then this is interesting too, because you've got synchronicity. And so what are the signs and meaningful coincidences that surround you right now? What do you need to pay attention to? You've got the Three of Swords in reverse. Again, this is a card that a lot of people fear because they think about betrayal, end of a relationship, somebody causing pain, stabbing them in the heart, not just once, but multiple times, right? This is in reverse. I think this is healing. I think this is recovery. I think that this is an older wound. It's not something that's just happening in July. It's something that has been that happened a long time ago, maybe even years ago, that is still causing you pain or still influencing the way that you think. And the synchronicity here is that, like, you need to pay attention to those feelings when they come up, and look for patterns, look for triggers, like understand why after 5 years, you're suddenly thinking about your ex. Understand why you're suddenly being really critical about your body or about your background or about your education. What are the triggers there? What did somebody do something to betray you, to harm you, that has now made you see yourself differently? And how can you heal and let go of that? Because sometimes we say time heals, time heals all wounds. That's not always true, right? It softens it, but it doesn't heal it. Like, you actually have to do work to heal it. Like, you may forget about it, or you may get distracted, but it's still going to be there. And when anything familiar or similar to that situation comes up, that wound it's like it's ripped back open, and you're suddenly going to be behaving with more caution or fear or anxiety than you would normally expect, because you didn't deal with the healing work. So I think there's going to be some instances, some moments where you're feeling or reacting to that past trauma or pain. And I want you to pause. I just want you to take a breath. I want you to pause. I want you to try and acknowledge that before you go into the spiral of shame. I want you to try and acknowledge what's happening, what you're feeling, and more importantly, why you may be feeling that. What are the things that happened to you, the experiences, the things people said, the way they treated you, the betrayals? What are the things that are making you afraid of this new situation? Okay, and then, you've got relationships, and you've got, what's this one? Oh, behavior. So this month, how can you express your feelings and thoughts and speech through actions? How can you conduct yourself around others, especially in terms of creative play, but just in life in general for July? 10 of Swords. 10 of Swords. Stop playing the martyr. Stop playing the martyr. Just stop it. Just stop it. Everybody has problems. Everybody is stressed for time. Everybody feels like they're busy. Everybody is juggling a billion things. Like, they just are. And so I want you to take ownership of your time, of your behaviors, of your actions. And I want you to stop doing things to play the martyr, right? Like, do it because you want to do it. Don't do it because you're trying to impress somebody with how busy you are, or how giving you are, or how much money you have. Don't do it because you feel like you're obligated to do it, like you're trying to prove your worth, right? That's where I want you to pull away from that 10 of Swords. It's like, like, you survived the battle. Great. Like, you've done it. The 10 of Swords, you should be mastering. This should be a much more optimistic card. But she's laying on the ground like, oh God, I did it, but I can barely move. And it was so awful. And now, like, I want you to, like, celebrate how painful and horrible this was. And that's like it's just something that's going to keep you from really excelling. And when I think about creativity, I'm just thinking for you about time and time management. And this, like, I keep hearing and sensing this idea that you are deprioritizing fun, and you can't do that this month. In July, when we're talking about creative play is exactly that. And you have time. I don't care if it's 20 minutes in the morning. You have time to play. Relationships. The way you are connected and related to something, including somebody or including yourself. I can read. I'm really tired. I apologize. But I've been filming for 2 hours. Okay, so Knight of Wands energy. Knight of Wands came up in another group. I think it was the Earth group, if I'm remembering correctly. So if you have Earth signs in your chart, Virgo, Taurus, or Capricorn in your chart as well, there's definitely energy here that, like, speaks to the Knight of Wands multiple times. So Knight of Wands, I talked about in that other video, Knights are sophomores. They're kind of teenagers. They're like the like super excited, super passionate, super reckless. They think they know everything, but they don't, and they just take action. They're really impulsive. And like this can be like being super excited and charged up about an idea, a project, a creative passion. And like you want to dive into it and you want to take it and just run with it. Because this came up with the relationship card, it's definitely making me think that this is, you're passionate about a project, and there's a collaboration here at play. There's somebody else involved. So the thing that's going to bring you fun and allow yourself to run with this idea, but also like bring somebody along for the ride. And again, I think this is what we're talking about here with this stepping out, right? Taking your personal power outside. Don't just play your game at home. Don't play your video game. Don't just read your book. Don't just like hoard away inside your house like a hermit. There's no hermit on this spread. And actually, can I tell you, I got the hermit so much last year in 2020, 2021. I don't think I've drawn the hermit card once. Maybe I have, but in recent memory, I cannot remember drawing the hermit card. So there's no hermit card here. It's time to start stepping out, embrace that, engage with your social network, and don't play the martyr. Don't tell your social peoples that you don't have time to do these things, because you do, right? You do. Okay, let's look at some of these other cards. We've got your affirmation, and then we've got these oracle message. Let's start here. So this is your other affirmation card here, and showing up. Are you showing up? Oh my goodness, that's exactly what I'm talking about. So I promise to show up every day, if only for 5 minutes. And I promise to try. When I clear 5 minutes and pick up my pencil, my paintbrush, my piccolo, whatever it is, I'm showing and telling myself that my creative spirit matters. I'm sitting down with an open ear and whispering to inspiration, hey friend, what's up? Anything you want to say to me today? Right? So make that time for your art. Show up, sit down, button chair, do the thing, go out and be with people, show up for them, plan a fun night and a game night or whatever, and show up. Okay, we've got 3 really great cards: Cozy Up with Risk, Rise, and Creator Water, which water signs, hello. I love that came out for you. So let's start with the Cozy Up for Risk here. And your Cozy Up for Risk is a really interesting one because this is all about risk taking and taking a calculated risk. It's very easy for us to get distracted, for us to not embrace opportunities because we're so fearful and so afraid. And I do want you to think about like how you can pursue your dreams with more calculated risk. So, and how you can acknowledge the risk, but still move forward, right? Acknowledge the risk, but still move forward. Don't hide. Don't be afraid. Know that it's there, respect it, bless it, and then say, okay, but I'm still going to do this thing because it's still important to me. That's the energy that I feel with that card in particular. It's just like there's a lot of new opportunities, and you need to push past the fear in order to like take advantage of those opportunities. The Rise card here. Okay, here's our Rise card. So this is all about being ready, rebirth, rising. I think this is beautiful that it came out when we have this, because what do I think about rise? That's what I talked about. Death and the cycle of life, the phoenix, being reborn, new beginnings. So this death is nothing to fear because death is a natural part of the cycle of life, and so is rising and being reborn and starting something new. Chances, second chances, new opportunities, stepping into your potential, right? Stepping into your true potentials. You may need to accept defeat before the rebirth. You may need to accept defeat before the rebirth. You may need to know when it's time to stop. So this is really, really interesting, because what I'm seeing right here, I'm feeling that for someone, because we have this conquer, we have this purge, You've got this fear, you've got this movement here, and there is something that's just screaming out to me is like knowing when to stop, knowing when it's over, right? Like, are you this person who's still begging and pleading and not realizing that it's already happened? Like that there is no going back? Are you racing into something headlong and like fighting it or resisting it? Like, right, maybe you're running in the opposite direction. Maybe you're running towards this death card to plead with them when they're like, if you turn around and run the other way, you can rise. You can fly. You can see the rebirth. You can see the new thing. I don't know. That message is just coming through. And then the last card, I want to read this one actually out loud because you guys are water signs, and there's a lot of information in the guidebook specifically about the elements. So I think it might connect more deeply if I just read through this a little bit. So water is connected to the emotions, being in flow and relying on your intuition. It governs the germination of ideas and conception, and it lives in the realm of dreams and prophecy. The elements of water is insightful and healing and cleansing. How can your intuition be of use to you right now? And what happens when you allow it to restore your balance? How would your situation change if you fell fully into your emotions? How well are your emotions helping you right now? Right? So that's what we're getting for water. It also encourages you to explore water. So in terms of your creative play, I want to say, I think you should go to the beach. I think you should go to the beach, go to the ocean, play in the water. I think you should go to a pool. If you don't have it, go to the neighborhood pool, take the kids, take the fam, like have a pool party, right? Go schmooze on a rooftop pool if you need to. Find a pool, find a beach, find a lake, go play in the water. If you can't do any of that, take a nice long bath, go to a jacuzzi or get it, like indulge. But I feel like it's time to, immerse yourself in water and think of that as cleansing and think of that as like your rebirth, right? So much we think about like, oh, I just got to jump in, jump out, shower and change. Like we don't think about the actual ritual of cleansing our body. And so I do want you to take a nice long bath or a nice long shower. And I want you to think about that water cleansing and purging your spirit and your soul and renewing you and giving you new life, new creative energy and endurance. And I want you to play. I want you to play games. I want you to have that for a beach party. Maybe you're playing sports. Maybe it's not a board game night. Maybe it's like go play beach volleyball or badminton or cornhole. But like I want you to do something outside. I want you to interact with people. I did one more thing. Where is it? Oh, our Q&A. So I rolled a die. We got some numbers. Helped me pick out this. So here are your questions, your homework assignments for your creative month of July. We have this right here, which is what I was just talking about, which is what are the ingredients for a perfect day, right? Write them down. What are your ingredients for a perfect day? And then I want you to try and live that perfect day. Pick one day out of the month and try and do everything that you think makes a perfect day. The other thing is, what do you need to throw away, right? We talked about purging. That came up in your spread. So what do you need to throw away? What do you need to let go of? Something physical, something mental, something emotional. What do you need to let go of? All right, those are two of your assignments. And then your last one is around a book, because I'm encouraging people to read. I think that consider this your summer reading program from school. Your summer homework assignment is to read a book this month, and that is part of your creative play. And I'll give you a couple of options. So, okay, so you can do a book set at a school. You can read a book set at a school. You can read a Shakespearean play. Get back in touch with Shakespeare. This will be particularly good if there's any Shakespeare in the Park things. You could read the play before you go. Or, hold on, we got two here. Okay, you got four options because I can't choose. You can do a story set in space or a story with fictional animals, right? So there's your reading assignment. Any one of these categories. Bonus points if you can combine any of these. If you can find a book that combines any or all of these, that would be pretty impressive. But you never know. In the comments, let me know what you're reading. I want to know what you're reading. I want to know why you're excited. And if you can, again, find something that hits both of these or multiple categories, extra bonus points. And yeah, that is your reading. That is your creative reading for the month of July. Creative play. I hope you have fun. Tell me what you're doing in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe and share this with somebody else who needs to hear it at the beginning of the month and needs to have fun and do something exciting and entertaining in July, because it helps the channel grow. I am going to wrap this up, but I hope you have a wonderful month. And as always, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.